Good morning. Welcome to Studio 365, powered by tablethink. We are in this series called Process. My name is Joshua, and I'm here in the studio with Pastor Kerrie Palmer as we are kicking off yet another week.
Yet another week.
Yes.
I love that. You know, Mondays are just a different day for me. You know, you finished the weekend, and now here we are on Monday, and we've got the 5 days.
That's right. It's time to make it happen.
That's right. When I come in, and you're already at work usually.
I know.
Well, that's pretty good.
I try.
Well, good.
I try to be working, yes.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm excited for this new series that we've just barely started, and I think it's one that really is for all ages, because sometimes we don't realize that the process is as important as the outcome of whatever we're doing, whether it's something personally or for business or for whatever it is that we're needing to accomplish. And if we are intentional with this, I think it's going to make a difference in our lives.
I agree.
Yeah, so I'm beginning to know you, and I think our listeners are too. And so I've got yet another question, because why wouldn't I?
Yes.
Yes. So when you have things that are hard and, you know, kind of problems in the business and everything, and how do you manage that? How do you get through it when it just doesn't seem to be very easy?
Well, I think I just kind of do it. I mean, the way kind of my thing is, and sometimes I will spend time thinking what led to this or how did we get here. But for the most part, you know, it's kind of just, it is what it is. So now I have to find a next thing. So it's kind of like, I just kind of view it, if you were walking and your goal was you needed to get to somewhere that's a mile away, and you fall into a pit, well, now,
which could happen.
Yeah. So now the problem is, let's get out of the pit,
right?
Instead of, you know, being sad. So then I just figure out how to get out of the pit. Sometimes when I'm in the pit, then I fall into another one or something else weird, and then you just keep, you know, working your way backwards. So I just keep going.
You're kind of a strategizer.
Yeah, I mean, every moment, and kind of the thing too is, even before I fall into the pit, I'm aware that there are the pits. I know what the chances are of it, and then I've already if I'm going to be in a pit, what could I have on me so I can get out? So, yeah.
Do you ultimately have that belief that it's all going to work out?
I think to some level, it's kind of like I usually think that we'll figure out a plan for it. I mean, I think I ultimately do reserve that maybe not everything's going to work out, but for the most part, I try to have a positive attitude and just know that we'll. You know, and it may not even work out in the way that I want it to work out or had thought. But at the end of the day, overall and all, it's going to be fine.
I think that's what I really had to learn along the way, because I have have to break through my perfectionist needs. As you've discovered that about me. And so I'm a strategizer, but I want to always make sure that it's going to turn out well, and it doesn't always.
Right.
And so I've had to ultimately look at really those words that Jesus had on the cross in John 19:30, and it's just simply, "It is finished." And so I started thinking about this, it was several years ago, that regardless of what I have going on in my situation, that when I take that final breath, I can know that it is well.
Right.
That God has finished all those things that maybe I feel are unfinished and didn't go the way that I thought that they would go, that God has taken care of that. And that really reduced my stress in things and my worry over things. You know, I still kind of have to process all of that, but it's changed throughout the years, because I've realized that energy of Christ that was on the cross, that energy of really blasting through humanity and all the things that we must face, at the end of the day, it is finished. And that just made it different for me.
Right. Yeah. That really kind of just totally reframes everything.
Right.
And could definitely help, especially with, I think things happen. We get in situations and circumstances, and kind of our first go-to is to worry about it.
Right.
And how did this happen and all that. And this kind of reframes the issue.
Right.
And maybe helps us to just keep going.
Well, because I've lived just a little longer than you.
Just a touch.
We've had, some very difficult and hard things that were at some points devastating. And looking backwards, though, I've seen how God took each of those things that are still hard to this day, but something good came out of them. and that I can tell you that was totally a God thing. And so that I just have realized that when all is said and done, that it is God that takes all of those things, and the power that was issued, that statement that was issued on the cross, belongs to every moment like that. That the heart of it is going to be finished, and the good of it will continue on. And so, like when you're talking about taking that walk and you're falling in the pit,
Right.
and then you got to figure out how to get out of the pit and all of that. Ultimately we can know that God has a pathway that is the solid rock. Right. You're going to move forward, and those things that you have worried about, you're going to look backwards and realize it wasn't worth worrying.
Right.
That God is the God of more and always has something. And so I have had to learn along the way that it's not the battle I pay attention to, but it's the words, "It is finished," that gets me through the process. So Joshua and friends, let's have a good day of really realizing that at the end of the day it is finished. And I'll talk to you tomorrow in Studio 365.
I love that. And thank you for joining us for this episode of Studio 365. We'll see you right back here for another episode.